Hello there. So, do you ever get tired of feeling like your life is just one problem after another? Well, that's what I'm talking about in today's video. Hi, I am Tammy Coyne, your holistic alchemist, helping you change pain into possibilities and possibilities into purpose. I upload content around holistic healing and personal development every Tuesday and Thursday. And then on Saturdays, I do the Holistic Pathway podcast. It's uploaded here on this channel. That is unscripted conversations, usually with entrepreneurs who have walked the holistic path, who have gone through the journey from where they were to where they are now. And you can usually find some pretty great nuggets in that. So let's talk about this life of problems. Well, one of the things that I have found that is the greatest way to shift that is by changing your thinking. My life was problem focused. There was a lot of trauma, a lot of abuse, a lot of loss, and my life was, and my thinking was around problems. The next problem, the current problem. It seemed everywhere I looked, there was problems. Everywhere I looked in the past, everywhere I looked in the present, everywhere I looked in the future seemed to be surrounded by problems. Well, what does that get you? It gets you anxiety. It gets you depression. It gets you wanting not to be part of the world anymore. It does not give you a way out other than permanent solutions to temporary problems, kind of the ways out. What I began to learn over time is that the way that I was thinking about things was creating the very life that I did not want to live. So when I thought about the challenges that I had in my life, it was really difficult to see possibilities. It was really difficult to see solutions because I'd only been taught or had only observed people living life in one way. As I began my holistic healing journey, I began to understand how my thinking about what I was experiencing was creating more problems than the actual problem. This is how I ultimately became a spiritual coach as my title. Although I could have many titles because there's a lot of education in my life, I've done a lot of things, but spiritual coach is really what sort of encompassed what my life's work has become. And your holistic alchemist is because I literally have learned how to change problem, pain into possibilities and possibilities into purpose. So let me see if I can give you some examples. Oh, back on the spiritual coach thing, because that is a deep dive. That is a deep dive into who you are. Being a spiritual coach isn't just talking about spirituality. It's actually about you as a divine being and your greater purpose in this world. And it's really difficult to become your higher purpose if your focus is on the problems and your focus is on the pain. Now, problems and pain can look like a whole lot of different things, right? There's all kinds of degrees of pain. There's all kinds of degrees of problems. There's all kinds of degrees of being uncomfortable. One of the biggest assets I think that I bring to my clients and students is helping them see other perspectives of the same thing. Let me see if I can give you some examples, real world type examples that might be helpful. I have done teaching around gratitude before, and gratitude, when you're in a lot of pain, can sometimes be a trigger. It was for me. I maybe wasn't feeling super grateful about things. Like my life kind of felt shitty. Wasn't feeling super grateful. Well, that can also lend to you continuing to feel super shitty, So when you learn to shift the perspective again, you can see things differently. Let me give you an example that I see people complain about all the time. The price of gas. Okay. I would say most people I know buy gas for their vehicle. Now, maybe you don't have a vehicle, but most of the people I know, most of the people I work with have a vehicle and buy gas. And people complain about the price of gas. What is that getting you when you complain about the problem, the price of gas? What does that get you? Does it change the price of gas? No. Does it somehow make you feel better about it? Not really. Does it mean you're going to stop buying gas? Probably not. So those are some questions, to think about. So here's another perspective. Let's say gas where you are is roughly $5 a gallon. It's close to that where I live. It's not exactly, but it's close to that. I grew up in a time where gas was, well under $1, well under, I'm trying to think. It seems like I recall 79 cents a gallon at one point in my life. So I could really jump up and down about the price of gas. But the thing is, if the gas were $12 a gallon, $5 a gallon sounds like a bargain. Do you know what I mean? Perspective. You also, I know that, let's say if gas were $12 a gallon, as an example, I'm going to have to make some decisions at that point. Am I still going to drive? Is there a more economical way for me to get around? Am I going to look for ways to earn more money? Am I going to stop buying gas, or am I going to continue buying gas? Am I going to continue to complain about the price of gas? Am I going to look back and say, wow, boy, when gas was only this much, my life was so much better? No, it probably wasn't, because you were probably complaining about the gas price then. Do you see what I mean? It's like all we have is the now. Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow never happens. We have the now, the present moment. And what is that gas getting you? What is it doing for you? Okay. Another example could be the electric bill. We could go on and on and on about that. And what does that bring you? What does that give you? So let's talk about some more like personal kinds of problems. Let's say it is a health situation. So what people typically do is they get hyper focused on the health diagnosis or the way that they're feeling. And often it doesn't do much for you other than make you scared, make you hyper focused again on a problem. And when you're hyper focused on a problem, you get more of the problem. Have you ever noticed that people have gone, let's say, for years without a particular diagnosis? And then as soon as they get the diagnosis, they hear it, they think it, they start thinking about it, and then that's kind of it. It's heartbreaking because that's all of a sudden all that they can think about. What if you are at a situation and your body is doing something, you have some kind of health thing? What if you stopped for a moment and said, I wonder what this is here to teach me. I wonder what message this is bringing to me. How can I tune in to the language of my body? Instead of being afraid or scared or hyper focused on the problem, what if the body is actually bringing you information about your life? I have lots of examples about that from my own history, and it could go deep really fast. So, let me give you a kind of a simple example. Let's say that let me think of an example. Let's say that your eye is bothering you. Maybe it's hurting. And maybe it's just really just bothering you. So one of the things that I would ask myself, let's say if it was my right eye, I might say, I wonder what I'm not seeing. My eyes are what I used to see. I wonder what I'm not seeing. Or what am I seeing that's causing pain to me? Then I might also think, okay, what side of the body? It's the right side. All right, I happen to know that the right side is how we show up externally. It's the masculine energy side of the body. It's often how we show up, often how we do, how we get things done. So if it were my eye on the right side, I might say, I wonder what I'm not seeing in the work I'm doing in the world or how I'm showing up in the world. Is there something that's causing me pain? And I would just consider. It is a line of questioning that brings about curiosity, that brings about curiosity about me instead of going down a rabbit hole of all the things that could be, might be wrong. Now, there may come a time where I need some intervention, but oftentimes what happens on my journey when I began doing that is once I started acknowledging that I was having some sort of challenge, pain, whatever, in my eye, as an example, and I acknowledged that and thought, I wonder what the bigger message is for me here. Sometimes that challenge, that problem, that pain would actually go away because it had been acknowledged. Your body brings you so much information that you can't even comprehend. The challenge is, first of all, knowing that it does that, and second of all, knowing how to interpret it. That's part of what I do. Not everyone knows how to do that. Let's think about other problems. Let's think about let's say a job that doesn't make you happy. And maybe you are irritated by the boss. Maybe you're irritated by the coworkers. Maybe you're irritated by the work. If you focus on all of that, it will just get worse. Rather, shift your focus. Notice your body. What is it that the boss or the coworker or the work said or did that irritated me? Do I feel triggered? How is it impacting me? Do I notice a physical symptom? Do I feel a tightness in my shoulders? Do I feel headaches? Do I feel like I want to throw up every day when it's time to go to work? Do I feel my stomach tie up in a knot? Like, what kind of things can I notice about what's going on? What if there is a deeper meaning than just the fact that you are irritated, just the fact you don't like these things? Tune into the body, and notice what your body is telling you. You also get to make choices. Maybe if something is irritating you like that, maybe if something is making you sick like that, this is telling you this is not the right place for you. Maybe. When we have these problems, these pains, sometimes when we're so hyper-focused on those, we cannot see the possibilities and we cannot see the solutions. Because we become so hyper-focused on this, we cannot see anything else. Oftentimes, all of that you're going through is actually preparing you for something bigger than you are, preparing you for the actual reason that you incarnated in this life at this time. You may not like those words. You may not like my terminology. That's fine. You don't have to watch my channel. However, if you do, at least on some level, think there may be something to what I'm saying to you, maybe it connects with something you've been feeling inside. Maybe it connects with something you've been struggling with. Because sometimes we look for solutions to problems that we have outside of us, when actually we already have the answers. We may not know how to get them. We may not know how to understand them. That's where people like me come into play as a teacher, as a coach, as a mentor, as a guide, to help you understand what all of those things are showing you. Maybe there's a strategy that you need to make a shift. What often happens for us, let's say if it's job related, we often think that we cannot make a change because of financial reasons. Maybe, and there's other ways to look at that. So this video really is about getting you to think about, could there be another possibility, another perspective that you haven't considered? When you only think about things from one direction, it's really hard to find an answer. And yet, when you know how to expand your thinking, you can begin to open up a world for yourself that you never even knew existed. Let me tell you, just because you cannot see it doesn't mean it isn't there. I think that's it. I'd like to know your comments about this video. If you found it helpful, did you find it confusing? Did it cause you to think? I would be interested to know that. So yes, I would. And I would invite you to subscribe to the channel. I am Tammy Coyne, your holistic alchemist, helping you change pain into possibilities and possibilities into purpose. And I'm working on something that I'm really excited about, and I look forward to, if it's a good fit for you, maybe you'll be interested in joining me in this new adventure. So I'll share more about that as it develops. If you'd like to get on my email list so that you know when it's coming, you can message me or put a comment, and let's connect on how I can get you added to the email list so you know what's coming. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.